Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Hope everyone's doing good. Everything on this end's pretty all right. I got the day off work. I'm leaving for Toronto in a few hours to see Chain Whip and Imploders play. And I got a stack of new records to show, so it's going to have to do. We'll start it off with a band that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. I don't think they need much of an introduction. From Seattle, Washington, The Accused. This is the Hymns for the Deranged LP on musical tragedies. It's from 1989. The Accused, of course, heavy hitters in the crossover arena, as it were. Um, Among the gnarliest vocals ever. Like the guy literally sounds like he's retching his guts out as he does them. Everything they've done is pretty awesome. This one's got studio. The A side's all studio stuff, produced by Jack and Dino, which yeah, I think he's produced almost everything to come out of Seattle in the last 30, 40 years. Um, I could do without the cover of Barracuda, though. But then again, I can always do without a cover of Barracuda. B side is it's all live tracks from different shows, including a cover of Highway Star and Symptom of the Universe. I'm not a fan of live recordings by anybody, so that kind of, yeah, I'm indifferent to it. Um, this is good, if not just for the A side alone. Probably not the record you want to get if you're just trying to familiarize yourself with the Accused, but what do I know? It's all right. A side's great. All right, now we got two British bands, two British comedy thrash bands, really. We got Lawnmower Deth and Metal Duck. Uh, yeah, like I said, both thrash bands. Lawnmower Deth kind of falls more on the punk side of it. Metal Duck is more raw. They kind of fall more on the hardcore side of it. Shit, quack 'em all. Um, yeah, Lawnmower Deth. There's a guy from Acid Rain in here who I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Metal Duck has a member of the Electro Hippies in it, which is pretty awesome because that band ruled. Yeah, both bands super goofy. I knew this record existed. I'd never seen a copy, so I figured, I'll pick it up. It's not bad. Now we're gonna swing over to America, to Chicago, more precisely. Abomination. It's their self-titled LP. It's on Nuclear Blast. It's from 1990. Um, Members in this came from that band Master. I think it might have just been a side project of Master. I'm not positive though. Of course, they're pretty well regarded as being one of the originators of death metal, as it were. And this is, you can hear that in here. I mean, this is a thrash record, but there's like a heavy, heavy death metal influence in this. My only problem with it is I find the drums a little distracting. They're very loud in the mix. You can tell the drummer is one of those guys where, like, when you're in a band with them and you're trying to discuss, like, something from like a songwriting perspective, or even if you're trying to tune, the guy just won't fucking stop playing. I'm willing to bet the drummer is one of those guys. He's also one of those drummers that thinks that everything has to be a fill or a roll. Like, there's simplicity, won't have it. He just sounds like that guy. And his drums sound like a series of, shoe boxes of varying sizes. I mean, it's still a good record, but it's just, I just find once in a while the drums just kind of distract me, and I'm going, what the fuck, man? Reel it in a little bit. So yeah, Abomination. Now we got Metal Blade Records. It's from like 1986. Juggernaut, Baptism Under Fire. Band from San Antonio, Texas, which is really no surprise because they kind of remind me of another Texas band, that being Watchtower. Super, super technical for the time, I suppose. A lot of like intricate playing. Mostly mid-tempo songs. The vocals are done in more of a talking style. But yeah, these dudes could play. They could, play for hours. I bet at least two of them are fucking work at like some goddamn music store and they just sit there and wow people all day or some shit. But yeah, Juggernaut's pretty good. Next, we're going over to Philadelphia, the land of Rick from the Dreadful Minutes. Got Black Task. It's long after midnight. And the lady's discovering she's got Thundercats coming through the floor of the basement. Better get the Orkin man in there. This is some pretty unorthodox metal. It's pretty weird. Like it's pretty creative. There's a lot of interesting time changes. There's keyboards in here. There's cowbells in here. The vocalist, some of the time, sounds like he's teetering on the edge of a precipice. Just pretty interesting. And then there are just some straight up thrashers on here. I know Radio Raheem actually re-released their demos on vinyl. I listened to those, and they're a lot more straightforward thrash than this record is. It's super interesting. There's fucking sports jackets involved. I kind of feel that this would be more appreciated now than it was back in their time. Like, this is from, 86, I think. It's on Axe Killer Records. Yeah, this is pretty good. I didn't know what to expect when I got it. I bought it purely on the strength of the stupid cover. So, yeah. Black Task. Next, we got Savage Grace, After the Fall from Grace. Band from L.A. Band kind of fooled me when I first heard them, because just judging by the name, I expected them to be a lot more savage than they are. In reality, they're more of a power metal band with some really well sung vocals, pretty melodic, very enjoyable. Just I found the name was misleading. When I was a teenager and heard of them, and when I first heard them, I was like, that is not what I expected. So yeah, this is on Metal Blade as well. When's it from? 1986. Here's one of my favorites that I've found, because I only owned this on cassette. And now I have a vinyl copy of Blood Feast, Kill for Pleasure. Great band from Bayonne, New Jersey. This is from 1987. This sounds like, Paul Bailoff era Exodus mixed with Creator. It's fucking great. The whole thing's fantastic. I've listened to this a million times. I actually stopped listening to my tape because I was afraid I was going to wear through it or just get it eaten. So now I can play it to my heart's content. But yeah, this is one of the ones I'm happiest with that I got from that collection. It's on New Renaissance Records. Now back over to England. The band, I bought this purely on a whim. That's a band called Amnesia. It's called Unknown Entity. It's from 1991. It's on Major Records. Did not know what to expect. A lot of that collection that I pillaged, there was quite a bit of British thrash in it. Most of it kind of fell short. I was a little underwhelmed with it. This one's actually pretty good, but it sounds more American than anything. Actually, to be honest, it kind of reminds me of a cross between something like, Death Angel and Prong or something. But in the best possible sense of that combination. And then maybe a little Megadeth thrown in there or something. It's actually pretty good. Pretty good. I was surprised. Pleasantly surprised. Now I got a few here from the CCG Underground Records demo series line. 3 of them. Started off with a band from Australia, from Canberra, called Armoured Angel. Yeah, all the sleeves on these things are pretty much exactly the same, except for the sticker. This is some pretty evil-sounding thrash. I mean, it's actually really good. It's one of the only bands I've seen in this demo series that actually did other shit. But yeah, it's kind of evil-sounding thrash. It kind of reminds me of someone like Sacrilege BC, if you kind of increased their Slayer influence. It's a real Slayer-heavy version of maybe Sacrilege BC. They still have that kind of living room metal component to them. Really, really good though. Next, a band from Long Island, New York, called Cold Steel. It's the Dead by Dawn 12-inch. This is, it's really just, standard heavy metal with some, kind of thrash leanings to it. But there's also some kind of groove parts to it that I'm not super fussy on. It doesn't ruin it, but it's But this was in the early days before those groove parts really, you know, kind of infiltrated the whole, metal genre, really. So I guess that's a little more forgivable, but whatever, they're all right. And third and lastly on the demo series, it's a band from New Haven, Connecticut. Never Sleep. It's called Crime Don't Pay. It's pretty much in the same realm as Cold Steel. It's mostly like mid-tempo heavy metal, with like a thrash or a crossover edge to it. Nothing crazy, but it's okay. Now we got an interesting one. Sacred Rite, The Ritual. It's a band from Honolulu. I'm guessing that's what the metal dudes in Honolulu wore back in the day. This is it's super melodic, mostly mid-tempo, though some of it kind of picks up a bit. Yeah, really melodic, like good harmonies in it, well-sung vocals, solid playing. There's interesting time changes in it. Like they're good songwriters. I was kind of surprised I'd never heard of this band before. I've listened to this quite a bit though. Find myself enjoying it. It's on Megaton Records. It's from like 1985. But it's a band from Hawaii. You don't see that too often, other than like what, Vixen and Aloha maybe. All right, here's a 12-inch band from Orange County, California. Witch. The Hex is On. This is a weird one. It's they kind of have like glam metal, themes and even delivery to a point, but they're too heavy for glam metal. Like I can't see a lot of the glam metal scene embracing them because I think they were too hard for them, but I think they were kind of too wussy for the like the heavier metal circles. I don't know. It's hard to say. They got the look down. But, yeah. I kind of, not musically, but I kind of lump them in with somebody like Wasp, who I'm sure in the earlier days, like, they kind of had that, like I said, the glammy themes and delivery they were just too heavy for that stuff. So, yeah, they're kind of a perplexing band. The singer in this band goes by the name Peter Wabbit, which is awful. And the drummer is Punky Peru, who also happened to be the first drummer in Leatherwolf, for all two people in the world that matters to. But yeah, this is a good record. I like it. It's kind of a weird one. It's kind of hard to throw it into any particular category because it's a confusing mix of two metal genres, really. And we're going to end this off with two German bands. First one being Mephisto. It's their self-titled. It's on, the hell is the name? Oh, it's on Miracle Records. It's from 1988. This is, it's your basic German, like, speed metal band, really. Vocals, pretty amateurish. A lot of reverb on them. Nothing super crazy, but it's definitely pretty good. It's better than a lot of stuff I've heard. I've heard a lot of generic bands in that genre. And these are better than a lot of them. So, yeah, give Mephisto a shot if you ever see this. It's the first time I'd ever seen it. First time I'd ever heard them. And then last, it's a band called Thunder. It's called All I Want. Look at that fucking cover. That's awesome. It's from 1984. It's on Thunder Music. This is basically like a cross between early Judas Priest and like early Motorhead, really. Some of the songs are way more, in the just 70s hard rock vein. And then the more, up-tempo, kind of more metal ones, they are, like the mix of Priest and Motorhead. So it's kind of a half and half record. Like the slower tracks that are more, 70s hard rock influenced, none of them really do it for me a whole lot. But, it's not bad. I don't regret picking this up at all. The faster songs are actually really, really good. So, yeah. Thunder. All right. I got to get ready to go to Toronto. I'm going to see some bands. So, hopefully you'll see me again and I don't get COVID. Cheers.